What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here to give you guys a guaranteed strategy to make money on PrizePicks over the long term, especially in the NFL and college football season. Now, I know there's probably a lot of red flags off in your mind right now. Anyone that says guaranteed and sports betting together probably is trying to sell you a scam. But I'm telling you right now that this is our month that we have had, right? We just got off of this month. It was our best month ever. So this is a strategy that still currently works and honestly surprises me every day that PrizePicks has not nerfed this or change the way that the rules are or something like that, and we are still able to do that. Now, this is just this month, so I know there's people that have crazy months all the time. This is actually last year, guys, and we used this exact same strategy. We had over 3,000 bets. This year, we're closing in on like about 2,000 bets, and we are up, I think, around 300 units so far this year using this exact same strategy that we've been doing for the past 20 months. All right, guys, you will see that we are going to be talking about NFL and college football correlation, all right? And I'm going to be getting into what that means. You'll see here in this graph that we actually kind of have these like humps going on right here. And each of these humps is actually weekends, right? Because when do these games normally happen? They normally happen on Saturdays and Sundays every single week. And this is when we have major profit, all right? So I already talked about this. And what we're going to be talking about is NFL and college football correlation, right? So as you guys know, every NFL team, every college football team, it doesn't matter whether it's, Division II or the best NFL team in the league, like the Chiefs or the Bills, they all have quarterbacks and they all have number one receivers or number one pass catchers, whether that's a receiver or a tight end. Now, the best way that I have thought to explain this is using this sort of analogy here, right? If you have two cars that are chained together at the sides, and one car accelerates to 100 miles per hour, all right? So this car is going now 100 miles per hour, pretty fast, right? This car is the only thing that it can do is also go fast with this car right here, okay? So if this car goes 100 miles per hour, then this car is probably going to go pretty fast as well because it's going to be chained to this car, right? There's literally no way that this car does not also accelerate with this car because they are chained at the hip, right? Now, let's just say this car goes, 10 miles per hour, and it starts going very slowly, and it just does not do very much, and it's just, kind of rolling down the hill, so to speak. This car is also probably just going to barely start rolling down that hill, right? And they're going to be a little more static during this scenario, right? This is the exact strategy that we use in college football and the NFL, right? So that is, with that being said here, this is the type of strategy that we have used, and it is using NFL guys and college football guys to go over together or under together, okay? So you'll see here a couple of examples from the past week. We have Zay Flowers to go under, and then we had Lamar Jackson to go under in this game. Lamar Jackson, just in that car scenario, he didn't do much, okay? He did okay, but he only got 90 yards in that first half, causing Zay Flowers, his number one target, to only get 17 yards. So they did not do very well together, and that caused them to both go under together. So these guys are extremely correlated together. Now, a lot of these picks, guys, are going to be between 8x and 10x. So you get a massive payout in the in profit when you do hit one of these. And I would recommend taking these either in a 4-man like this. So you could pair these up together. You could pair up, let's say, Zay Flowers, Lamar, and maybe you wanted to do Tua and A-Chain, and you could pair those up as a 4-man together type thing, right? So you could do that. And again, you're going to get an 8x to 10x payout for that. As you'll see in some of these graphs, guys, if I can erase some of this, but as you'll see in some of this graphs, my record is actually, I lose a lot more than I win record-wise, right? So we have more than 200 losses and just 74 wins in the past month, and this is our best month ever, right? So literally best case scenario, we're only getting, maybe a fourth or a fifth of the amount of wins that we are actually losing. And you're going to see this consistently if you do this yourself too, right? You're going to get a lot of losses. You'll probably see, 4 to 5 losses for every single win that you do have. But when these wins do come in, again, they are plus 8 units, plus 9 units, plus 10 units that you're going ahead and hitting here. So the wins are much bigger than the losses, all right? So that is really important to explain, probably the biggest thing to explain there. And I'm going to explain that later in the video as well, right? So you'll see here's a really good example of that. And you might be asking, well, how do I know whether to take players over or under together? Now, in this Lamar example, really the only reason that I took this under is because I personally thought Zay Flowers was a little bit too high in this scenario. I thought he should be more like 29 or 27, so I ended up taking him under. And my only real thing to pair with it was Lamar also to go under, because if Lamar doesn't throw him the ball very much, Lamar's probably going to go under and Zay's going to go under. Now, in this game, it was actually Hawaii versus San Jose State. And I said this in one of my videos that I make every day, but nonetheless, I took the overs because these were two extremely, extremely high-powered offenses with not so good defenses, okay? So they're going to throw a ton. It was a classic shootout type game in college football. And you'll see that these guys cashed off of just one play alone, right? So it was 4 minutes left in the second quarter, and they threw close to a 70-yard touchdown pass. This quarterback to his number one receiver, Jackson Harris on Hawaii, he threw a pass to this guy. So again, it doesn't matter if we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. It doesn't matter if we're talking about the Georgia Bulldogs. It doesn't matter if we're talking about Hawaii in a game that's happening on midnight, around midnight or 1 a.m. my time, right? These guys are either going to go over together or under together because they're extremely correlated, okay? So that is a really good example of why I took the unders and why I took the overs in some situations. Again, sometimes it's just kind of what I'm feeling. Do I like the overs? Do I like the unders in these different situations? So hopefully you guys are understanding why this works so well together. And it's pretty much, instead of needing four separate things needing to happen in a four-man, you really only need maybe two things to happen. You need, this team to do very well and this team to do really poorly, for example. So you might be asking, all right, so what can I really, really bet on, right? And maybe you're not asking that, but there's actually a lot more depth to this than you may think. So first of all, I don't really want you guys to pay attention to the teams or the lines. This is much more about the actual strategy of this. But college football first half and NFL first half has actually been one of my favorite things to bet on this year, because normally teams in the first half, they stick to their game plan, all right? In the second half, when the score is maybe 20-10 or it's 20-10 the other way, then a team maybe will panic, or they'll be like, hey, we're just going to run the ball out this entire second quarter and not throw very much. So I really like these first half plays, because a lot of times the team really sticks to their game plan in that first half, if that makes sense. Now, of course, you could just take a straight up, full game type entry as well. You could go ahead and do that. Just take a full game entry. Now, one thing also that is probably the biggest hidden strategy in all of PrizePicks is college football and NFL second half. Okay, so college football and NFL second half is a cheat code to make money on PrizePicks. I cannot even stress this enough, okay? This was the Monday night game, guys, and it was Dallas versus the Cardinals. Now, Dallas was behind by 7 to 10 points going into halftime. So what do you think the Cowboys are going to do in that second half? When they're behind, they're going to throw the ball like crazy to try to get back in this game, and that is exactly what they did. Dak Prescott threw for close to 200 yards in this game. Jake Ferguson, one of his biggest targets, got over his line as well. Same thing in this Vanderbilt and Texas game that just ended up happening. Vanderbilt was down by 20 plus points. So I knew I was going to take the overs because I knew Pavia was going to have to throw the ball a ton. Now you can think about this in the same situation with the unders. If a team is up by 30 points, they're probably not going to pass very much. They're just going to run the game out, and that's going to be it. Again, you can do a full game NFL entry too, and there's no problem with that. And just a little bit of a bonus here, just because I'm trying to give you guys all the information that is possible. I do also really like taking a play like this, right? Jamison Williams. The only difference here is Jamison Williams. It is under longest reception or over, so you could also take the overs if you wanted. Again, I'm not really leaning either way on some of these plays. I'm just telling you guys, you could take the over or the under together. Now, I really like these entries with those type of players that are like vertical threats. Okay, Jamison Williams is a great example of that. DK Metcalf is a great example of that. Those guys that really either get 60-yard bombs thrown to them or they get nothing the entire game, okay? So those type of players, I do like taking their under longest reception or over longest reception and pairing it up with their quarterback to either go over or under. Again, if we go back to this Hawaii game, very long reception means very good things for the overs. Not so much of that means very good things for the unders, okay? Now, that is the general strategy. I do want to go ahead and round out the video with, okay, what can go wrong? Because I believe in sports betting, guys, you have to have a game plan if you go through a stretch of losing quite a lot. You also have to know that you're going to lose in sports betting. There's no strategy that's going to just win 100% of the time. So making losing and how you're going to handle losing a part of your strategy is really important as well, okay? Now, most of the time, what you're going to see going wrong is players going the opposite of what you took them, okay? So you'll see here, here's an example of an entry that I missed. I took these Cal guys in the second half. They were down by like 10 to 14 points. And I said, hey, these guys are probably going to throw a lot in this game because they're going to probably come back from behind. Now, that didn't end up happening. I don't know why that didn't end up happening, but these guys didn't do anything in the second half, and they just continuously got stopped and stopped and stopped. Same thing here on Texas Tech. I took the overs. I thought, hey, man, this is a really, really high-powered offense. I'm going to take the overs here. What ended up happening is I think the clock just got burned very quickly in that first half, and these guys did not end up going over together. But what ended up happening is these guys went under together, okay? So hopefully you guys can see and notice the correlation together. If these guys go under together, then the receiver is going to go under. If the quarterback goes under, the receiver is likely to go under. If the quarterback goes over, the receiver is likely to go over. Now, I'm going to end with this, and we have a picture of the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys might be like, what is this guy talking about? Why is the Eagles on my screen? I'm not a big Eagles fan. I don't really care. I'm not a big Eagles guy. Like, they're not my team, but I respect the Eagles because they have a strategy that they stick to, and they won the Super Bowl last year because they stuck to that strategy that they had, right? If we talk about the Eagles strategy, it's running with Hurts, it's running with Saquon Barkley, it's doing tush pushes, it's playing zone defense, bend not break defense. And again, this is how you build a winning team and a winning strategy over the long term. The Eagles have taken many L's over the past 2-3 years. Did they completely switch up their strategy just because of one loss, just because of a couple losses to maybe divisional opponents, or AJ Brown complaining he doesn't get the ball enough? No, guys, they stuck to the strategy and they ultimately became Super Bowl champions because of it. So Eagles, I'm not a huge Eagles fan. I'm just saying I really respect them because they have a strategy, they stick to that strategy, and they know that it wins long term. So think about that also. Now, last thing, if you stuck to the end of this video, I do want to give back to you guys because you guys are probably the ones that are actually going to make it in sports betting. You guys are going to actually win long term. I did talk about a private group that I run. This is the group that actually has gone up 120 units over the past month. Down in the first link in the description is going to be a code or a link that gives you guys 1 free week of the VIP, no questions asked. You guys can cancel at any time if you want to, but it's just a thank you for actually watching this video. And again, if you've stuck till the end, I want you guys in the VIP cashing with me every day, every week, and every month, especially in the remainder of the football season, because that is our big months that we go up. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you learned something. If you did learn something, go ahead and like and comment. That really helps me out a lot. And I'll see you guys when I see you.